Peace and blessings, everyone. So I was down at the hospital earlier today with my daughter. My daughter has sickle cell anemia, so she had to get a blood transfusion. And so I was in McDonald's. I was in the hospital. And I was behind this little girl, I guess around maybe 6, 7 years old, and her mother. I assume was her mother. So the mother's ordering, and then she asks the little girl what she wants. And I think maybe it's chicken nuggets. But so the girl is telling her that she wants chicken nuggets, but she does it in this manner. Chicken nuggets. And it's just like that. And she's coughing straight into the air. As a matter of fact, I think she's doing it and she looks back at me while she's doing it. So she's coughing. And the girl's standing there, and a couple more times she coughs. And it's a not the hiccup part, me. Just mouth wide open and a gape, straight out. Straight out to the atmosphere. The hiccup. So she's doing this, and the mother doesn't say anything. And I'm standing there like, Mom. Matter of fact, then a male walks up, a grown man. She's coughing, just straight in. They at the counter, straight headed back towards the food. And once again, I'm thinking, your child is coughing. Haven't you taught her the manners, correct manners of covering your mouth when you cough? I mean, I don't even allow my kids to cough in my house without covering their mouth. So she's in public in a food establishment at the counter, projecting whatever it is that's making her cough straight out to the air. And it bugged me. It irked me. I mean, because, it's manners, home training. And so it sort of wanted me to say something to him like, your daughter's coughing, why don't you teach her to cover her mouth? Or say something, oh, sweetheart, why don't you cover your mouth? But if they don't teach that, then ultimately it'll be a problem just speaking to her, because obviously they don't care, right? They don't care for whatever. And so, like I said, it irked me. It bothered me. And what I try to do when I have, emotions, when I start getting irked, by a pet peeve or upset or even bored, all the emotions I go through, I always try to stop and examine them and try to get to the root cause of it. And so with this one, I'm thinking about it, why is it irking me? Well, because once again, I believe that the correct thing to do is cover your mouth, because you're trying to prevent from spreading germs. And if you're sick, then you're trying to prevent from spreading germs to get other people around you, to keep from getting them sick. And why don't we want to get sick? Well, because we don't like to experience what we go through when being sick, depending on what the ailment is. All right? Now, that's my opinion. Doesn't necessarily make it true that it is good manners to cover your mouth. Once again, I explain why it is that we generally do this, when we cough, when we sneeze, all this. But if someone doesn't do it, isn't necessarily a bad thing. We consider it bad manners, but is that just my subjective opinion that it's bad manners? Because again, it's just microbes, germs, it's in the air anyway. If I get sick, I might get sick, but I recover. Maybe get sick and die, but I'm going to die anyway. So what does it really get upset about? Ultimately, what does it really get upset once you get past my own subjective thoughts and feelings and opinions about what are proper manners? And then also, So in that situation, I assume that her parents are apathetic to the situation, apathetic to their daughter, who's ever daughter, little girl coughing, spreading germs, apathetic to someone getting sick, apathetic to the conditions, to the immediate surroundings that they are a part of. And it could be exfoliated out. You know, it shows how much apathy we have in general throughout the world. But maybe they're going through something at that point in time. Maybe, you know, they in the hospital for the little girl, and they have her mind, you know, this girl's sick. And so they just wasn't thinking at that time. They weren't focusing on what she was doing. They have plenty of things in their mind. Some home things going on at home, the economy, whatever it is. So it could be some of that, you know, some of all that in there. And so I try to keep that in mind and remove my apathy and not being concerned about what's going on in their lives and what it is that may have them not focus on doing something I believe is correct. And so I try to be empathetic and try to, once again, just understand it is what it is. I try to stay in truth. Truth is, the girl was coughing. She didn't cover her mouth, but it doesn't make it a bad thing. Like I say, even what could result from it, it doesn't necessarily make it a bad thing. So the truth is, it occurred. She'll go on, I'll go on, it'll pass, and it'll be what it is. And I just, I ask just that you keep those things in mind in your everyday life. And I believe it can help with a lot of frustrations that we go through in life. And just getting upset about, sometimes it's just small things that maybe it's not even necessary to get upset about. Sometimes just little small things can set us off. But if you stop, I believe, when you get angry, if you really stop and examine your emotion at that time, be aware of it, acknowledge that emotion is there, it generally helps to dissipate it and get rid of it. I'm angry. Stop and think about it. I am angry. I realize I am angry. Let me acknowledge that emotion and really focus in on it. And as you focus in on it, it'll go away. And as you further examine if there's really truly a reason for it to be there, it goes away even more. It's my thoughts. God bless everyone. Peace and love.